Hello!
Welcome.
Welcome to the third Equity Dance Committee video.
The Equity Dance Committee ARC special update.
Whoop. So we're going to take you through motions that were passed at the weekend.
The week of the 21st of May was Equity's annual representative conference, or ARC. So we all went away to Bristol, and representatives from all the committees and all the branches in Equity came together in Bristol.
At ARC, each committee and branch bring one motion forward to debate on policy and campaign for the coming year.
This is the first year, first ARC, that the Dance Committee has presented a motion. So it was very exciting for us to be there, and rather nervous as well. But we presented our motion on Monday.
So we're going to start off by taking you through a few of the motions under the category of equality and diversity, starting with motion number 1 from the Deaf and Disabled Members Committee.
So this motion was about accessibility for castings. So over the next year, Equity will focus on promoting accessible spaces for castings and auditions.
And next, we're going to talk about motion 3, which was presented by Minority Ethnic Members Committee.
So on top of all the work Equity already does on equality and diversity, this particular motion further calls on Equity to continue improving diversity in the industry, particularly in all of our negotiated contracts, so that employers should be clear about what their equality and diversity policy is when they're doing casting. The next motion we have came from the North West London General Branch, and it's based on gender equality in the industry, which we thought was particularly relevant for all the conversation in the dance industry at the moment.
This motion is requesting that Arts Council England better monitors its issue of gender equality in the industry. Arts Council England's current creative case is mainly constructed of data for permanent staff, which doesn't really take into account the vast amount of freelance workers.
This motion spoke to me quite a lot with my recent experience taking my duet, performing myself with a male dancer. So after performing my duet, which is using a pair dance, ballroom dance technique, people automatically thought that the male dancer was the choreographer and in charge of the piece. And I realized, that is actually what the motion is about, this unconscious bias. The word came a lot in the conference. This experience made me realize how much unconscious bias was embedded in the arts world. This male figure is the leader from everybody in the arts, instead of specifically from men towards women. We all need to work on to realize this unconscious bias is happening without realizing it, obviously. So this motion is a very strong case that we need to work on as a union.
So the next category we come to is live performance.
And motion 6 came from Northern Ireland General Branch.
So this motion is calling on Equity to work on improving people's awareness of their entitlements in the workplace. And we thought this was quite appropriate for the Dance Committee, because that's one of our priorities, is improving people's awareness as workers and in the workplace.
Next category that come to is variety, circus and entertainers.
So the next motion, it was proposed by Vicky from Upswing, who is doing some excellent work for circus and physical performers in the union at the moment.
Equity has decided that 2017 will be the year of variety, circus and entertainment in the union. So this will mean an increased amount of activity and campaigning. So the next category we come to is communication and membership support. Motion number 27 came from the Screen and New Media Committee.
And this motion helps advise members who need legal support when they are working abroad. But currently, there is a protection available for dancers through Dance Passport.
So if you need that protection, you can get in contact with Beth Doran. The contact details are below.
So the next category is policy.
The motion 37 from Northern Area Annual General Meeting and motion 38 from Stage Committee.
So these motions were debated together because they were on a similar subject. Parents in Performing Arts is a campaign that already exists that came out of work done by Equity, but this motion was calling specifically on campaigning with other theatre bodies to advise and guide employers about how to better support performers with childcare needs. So this was supported unanimously in conference, both motions. So hopefully Equity is going to continue doing work for better scheduling and better understanding for people with care responsibilities.
Motion 39, Screen and New Media Committee.
This motion brought up the topic about self-tapes within the acting community. And even though it was for the acting community, we felt as the dance committee this could slip into our industry. We just wanted to bring awareness to that a couple of years ago show reels weren't really used, but now so often asked for in auditions. So we just wanted to kind of bring awareness for what could slip into the dance world, making more work for our artists. Okay, so motion number 40 came from the Young Members Committee, and they just called upon to every committee to include younger members of the industry and to recruit into the union.
This was focused on Young Workers Week, which happens in November, and the Young Members Committee for a couple of years now have been doing fantastic work on this.
If you'd like to follow the Young Members Committee, follow the link below. It will take you to their Twitter account. So motion number 41 came from the Scottish National Committee.
So this motion was calling for Equity to oppose the proposed far-ranging tax and national insurance changes coming into effect in the current government. These tax and national insurance changes are really quite complicated, but they have quite big implications for our members, particularly those who are self-employed, to do with their national insurance payments. So if you want more information on this, we have a tax helpline, which will be in the description below.
Motion 42 came from Dance Committee.
So the Dance Committee's motion was presented by all three of us, which was passed unanimously throughout the whole conference. So this motion expresses concern about how the United Kingdom's Arts Council's policies on pay are being applied in practice. The committee members have anecdotal knowledge of workers on state-funded projects being engaged on less than minimum union rates. The conference agreed that concrete evidence would be valuable in understanding how widespread this practice is, and that this evidence could form the foundation of a campaign to encourage higher accountability of the Arts Councils to their policy on pay. We called upon Equity Council to consider committing resources to undertake an audit and report on companies and individuals who have received public funding from the Arts Councils of the United Kingdom, for the purpose of investigating whether the Council's policies on pay are being applied in practice. And with this information, we hope to produce a campaign later in the year.
Motion 44 came from Oxford General Branch.
This motion was calling to abolish audition fees in performing arts courses, which we feel very strongly about because these fees are a barrier for a lot of people getting into our industry.
Motion 46 comes from the North Lancashire and Cumbria General Branch.
This motion was about the recent cuts to local authority funding, specifically to do with arts funding with local authorities. It was calling on Equity to do more local and national campaigning around supporting local authority funding to arts organisations.
Motion 47 came from Kent General Branch.
This motion was about health and safety in training courses.
We thought this motion linked in very well with our recent Fit to Dance Space campaign, which we've been working on with One Dance UK. This campaign is for rehearsal spaces and venues to sign up to the Charter to ensure safe working conditions for dancers and choreographers. Please sign up. The link is below. The next motion, motion 49, came from the London Annual General Meeting.
This motion called upon Equity to campaign more widely for companies to use equity contracts and not just the union rates.
This is specifically important to us because it's a really big part of the work we're doing to improve conditions for dancers. The dance companies particularly make sure they're using equity contracts and not just quoting the rates. Then workers don't have any say over their terms and conditions, hours, or any other protection. So please make sure the companies you're working for are using equity contracts.
The final motion, motion 50, came from North and East London General Branch.
This motion was actually to do with the upcoming EU referendum and the implications that a Brexit would have on our members in the performing arts. Equity believes it benefits our members to remain in the EU because of the European arts funding, that would be lost, and to do with travel, visa, immigration issues for our members travelling and touring throughout Europe.
So we also had some extremely amazing guest speakers at the ARC this year. Our first guest speaker was Thangam Debonair, the MP for Bristol West. She's also the Shadow Minister for Arts and Culture. She mainly spoke about creativity and how it's not just in the arts, but across all boards in the education system. One thing that struck personally to me was how she commented on how creatives are everywhere, not just in the arts, but the person that designs the next floodplain or the person that designs the next transport system. All these people use creativity within their jobs, and if they're not being educated in the creative industries, how will they then become the people they can be? One particularly good quote from Thangam was, "Art at its best stimulates thought that makes a difference to society." You can follow her at Thangam MP on Twitter.
Our other guest speaker was Vicky Featherstone, who is the artistic director at Royal Court Theatre in London. The majority of Vicky's speech was based on diversity. She talked about how they work at the Royal Court and how their majority of staff are female and the majority of their upcoming playwrights are female. But she also brought along a student from Central School to talk more on diversity from a student's perspective.
Vicky brought along a student union rep, Stephen Kavuma. He said that nowadays we lost the meaning of diversity. It's not about diversity, it's more about inclusivity.
So it was a great opportunity for all three of us to represent the dance committee at the committee's first ARC this year. Great speeches from our president, Malcolm Sinclair, but we would like to leave you on a quote from Stephen Spence, and the quote is this: "United we bargain, divided we beg." Is that okay?
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And splits.
Oh God. I need a wee wee.
Oh, do you know who she is?
No.
She's a transgender roller skater. Make sure I've got good lighting. My nipples are erect.
I can
They
see.
actually are. Make sure you get them in.
Okay, so two. And I think the quote.
Work. Just Vaseline in front
It
of your
fell over a bit
eyes.
behind you.
Take away the bag. You've ruined it. I'm going home.
I can't work like this.
You've ruined Christmas. Just push back.
Hey, unconscious bias. Women always go on the right on TV because the left is meant to be the dominant position.
Give me that chair.
And then Nick could go in the middle because you're a counsellor.
Yeah,
You're the chair.
can I sit on you?
That's a different video. Makeup.
Patch up, please. Thank you.
So one thing you have to do is like try and keep smiling. You just look really bored. I'm like,
But then in every video, Gareth looks slightly demonic, just beaming.
that's my natural face. That took 20 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. 3, 2, 1.
Could you say 1, 2, 3? Could you say 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3, ha! My castle, work.
I was dancing. Oh gosh. So. Next category. Come up.
The Japanese Father Ted. Our motion was presented.
Pausa.
So motion number 41 came from the Scottish National Party. That's not right. The Scottish
Oh
National
my God! Nicholas Sturgeon was in it.
Number 42, Dance Committee. Ooh! You missed out on the Mexican flag. 3, 2, 1. Hello!
Oh.